Good morning and welcome to Kid News. I'm Kim. Today is Monday, April 11th, 2022. And we begin with a group of dads in Utah showing the high school cheerleading world how it's done. About a dozen of them brought their best moves to Cedar High's first ever Cheer Dad jump-off competition. Instead of just phoning in a few twirls, these now TikTok famous fathers actually did a rally routine to ramp up the crowd, and then individually showed off their flying splits and kicks. Some of the rah-rah wannabes accessorized with pom-poms or skirts, while it was clear others had been put through some pretty intense backyard practice by their daughters. The dad of a freshman won, but a good time was had by all, including those watching the now viral video. Among the comments, "White shirt didn't come to compete, he came to win." And "White shirt and black dress pants has been training his whole life for this moment." Tiger Woods may have stolen the 2022 Masters spotlight early on, but at the end of the 4-day tournament, it was the world's top-ranked golfer slipping on the signature green jacket of the winner. 25-year-old Texan Scottie Scheffler mastered the Masters with a 3-stroke victory. And even though Tiger finished well off the leaderboard, he apparently isn't about to give up on his comeback. He's already committed to play at St. Andrews in Scotland this July and may even tee up for next month's PGA Championship in Tulsa, Oklahoma. NASA is having a tough time getting its Artemis moon mission off the ground. An important pre-launch test had to be postponed a third time and is now scheduled to start tomorrow. The 3-day all-hands-on-deck rehearsal is meant to simulate every stage of launch except blastoff. Teams at Cape Canaveral, Florida will power on the rocket and Orion spacecraft, fuel the tanks with super cold propellant, and conduct a full countdown. Even if all goes as planned, Artemis 1, which is an uncrewed mission to lap the moon, now won't happen until June or July. Next year, Artemis 2 will take astronauts on a moon flyby, and around 2025, Artemis 3 is expected to land humans on the lunar surface for the first time in 50 years. For the next decade, actor Will Smith will have to watch the Academy Awards like the rest of us, from home. The organization's board of governors handed down the actor's 10-year event ban on Friday. The Academy also admitted again that it did not do enough to address the onstage slap of comedian Chris Rock when it happened because it was unprepared for the unprecedented. In the same statement, the board shared its deep gratitude toward Mr. Rock for maintaining his composure under extraordinary circumstances. The Academy left open the possibility of more consequences, but it does not appear that Will Smith will have to give back his Best Actor Oscar, and he can still be nominated for future awards. Mr. Smith responded by saying, "I accept and respect the Academy's decision." A Virginia teacher keeps going the distance to raise money for student scholarships. Last week, English teacher Kate Fletcher ran 105 miles with only one short break, and did it wearing sneakers, a puffer jacket, and a bright yellow tutu. The event started at Louisa County High School, ended a day later at the Reflecting Pools in Washington, D.C., and apparently Ms. Fletcher didn't even miss class along the way. A social media post says she zoomed from the road. Fletcher told station WTVR that her students know what it is to endure for something they care about, and that on these long solo journeys, she does the same. Her previous runs have raised a total of $70,000. This year's goal was $50,000. Fletcher stressed the importance of community, saying, "We need to support each other, that there's no finish line, and we all have boundless potential." In other Kid News notes, she's only 16, but retiring. Figure skater Alysa says she's happy with the success she's had, and it's time to move on with her life. Alysa finished 7th at the Olympics in Beijing. She was also the youngest woman to ever win the U.S. national senior title when she was 13, then went on to become the youngest 2-time champion when she repeated the win the following year. That's it for Kid News this morning. Now today's Kid News quiz. Who won this year's Masters? 25-year-old Scottie Scheffler of Texas. How many years is actor Will Smith banned from attending Oscars events? 10. What year does NASA hope to land humans on the moon? 2025. How many miles did a Virginia teacher run to raise money for student scholarships? 105. In today's KidNuz Kicker, a shocking sticker price for some game day grub. This season, the Atlanta Braves are commemorating their 151 years as a baseball team by selling a $151 ballpark burger. Who would pay that? We're not sure, but we do know that the buyer has to like more than ketchup. This particularly expensive patty is made with special beef and is topped with eggs, gold leaf wrapped duck liver, lobster tail, tomato, cheddar cheese, and a sauce. In case you're wondering, the $151 does include a side of fries. Before we get to our teachers, a scheduling note. The KidNuz team is going to join many of you and take a few days off to enjoy spring break. Over the next 3 days, we'll have 3 best of podcasts, including our favorite animal, science, and kid-centric stories from the past year. We'll be back with fresh episodes a week from today. Now to our classrooms, starting with Mrs. L at Chaparral in San Diego, California. Mrs. Garcia at Stone Creek in San Antonio, Texas. Mrs. Cooper and her rock stars at Parkwood Hill Intermediate in Keller, Texas. Mrs. Carlson at Twin Bluff in Red Wing, Minnesota. And Mrs. Robinson and Ms. Bennett's homeroom class at Albany Community Charter in Albany, New York. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you back here for our Best of Animals podcast here on KidNuz tomorrow morning.